friends, and welcome to Pod Return to the Waking Sands. We are a Final Fantasy XIV companion podcast where we explore the lore and story of Hydaelyn and beyond. My name is Jen, and I'm joined by my co-host and researcher.
I'm Levi.
Hello, Levi.
Today, we are continuing the patch 2.2 main story quest. We are playing through the quest Gift of Eternity. But first, what happened last time, Jen?
Last time, a strange purple lady showed up in Vesper Bay. Alphino got very excited. She had a bunch of refugees with her. We went to Ul'dahn. We accosted the syndicate. We like, let us in. And they're like, no. Revenant's Toll decided to take them in, and now we're trying to figure out how to get people places.
Thanks, Jen. That was a tight recap, except you missed that Thancred got very excited.
I did forget that.
So, Alphino dispatches us to Vesper Bay, where to meet with someone who is named Hosan, who will be leading the first group of refugees. And Alphino tells us to assist with any tasks, great or small, to get them moving. And indeed, Jen, a couple fetch quests were trimmed from this portion of the story. One of them involved a refugee being offended by the smell of chocobos or horse birds, so you had to troubleshoot ways of mitigating the smell or they wouldn't go on the cart.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, all of this feels like it's going by so much faster than it did.
Yes, because it is. So we have a single task to do before these guys get moving.
We have to find children.
Hosan immediately apologizes for making a great warrior like us do trivial tasks, but he asks us to locate and round up the missing children who are playing hide and seek. It sounds like Lady Yugiri told these children to take this game very seriously, as it was practice for hiding from Imperials.
Yeah. So, cool. We're going to go around Vesper Bay looking for the hidden children. First, we have to go talk to the head child, Yozan, which is Hosan's kid. And he's like, yeah, my friends are hiding. Great. So we find kids, and now we can finally go.
None are in buildings, surprisingly.
Right? Yeah, they're all like behind shit.
Yeah.
Behind a building, on top of a building.
Which is surprisingly merciful, but I checked inside buildings anyway because I suspected they would be, so it can't win pretty much.
So with the children found, we have a coach that's ready to go to Ul'dahn. So Hez and his family, including his like curmudgeonly old dad, they're all on this first caravan. However, on the route we would be taking, someone spotted some kind of dangerous looking beastie, and like, you know what, maybe you should go ahead and check the trail for other such dangers. No problem. We kind of do that a lot. Head out there, and there is indeed a big beastie. It's a wandering eye. These are Voitzen, right?
Yeah, it's an Ahriman.
Okay.
Just hanging out.
All right. Yeah, he's just hanging out. So we kill him. We return. The guy that's driving the caravan, he was like, ha! Like, we validated the fact that he actually saw something. And he did. Not anymore, though. So now we're chatting with Hosan.
Yeah, it's a pit stop outside Horizon on the way to Ul'dahn. And there are children playing on crates, and the adults are talking to us.
The child on the crate, he's doing like this like balancing act, like he's on like a thin something, but he's on a big, flat crate. There's no balancing needed. It's like 3 feet by 3 feet. And he's like, oh, he's trying to walk back and forth on this crate. I'm like, man, you can use both feet. There's no balancing needed.
It's practice, Jen. It's his ninja training.
Sure. Maybe find like a whatever.
So meanwhile, we are talking to the adults here, and they start to comment on Lady Yugiri and how she chose to remain with the refugees, even though it was well within her power to go it alone. Suddenly, 2 children rush up with such speed that they bowl over one of the adults.
Yeah, they literally knock him down to get to us. Understandable. And they start asking us a bunch of questions, you know. How did you decide to become an adventurer? Is Revenant's Toll pretty?
The first question, Jen, is why did you become an adventurer?
Oh yeah, this old chestnut. Oh, for the fame, for the glory, for the riches. I go where the wild rose blooms. I chose that one.
They keep trying to make that a joke, but it's never good.
Yeah.
The wild rose, because that was the code word for the scions.
Exactly.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
But none of the answers when you choose that are ever any good.
And the kids are like, I don't think roses are growing right now. Fucking, yeah. You're correct.
Next up, a girl wants to hear about Revenant's Toll, so we can give her 3 descriptions focusing on the adventurers there, the surrounding wilderness, or it being home to the scions. Or we can scare the child by telling her that it's right by a castrum.
Yeah. Oh, no big deal. It's just a stone's throw from a nearby imperial castrum. In case you're trying to escape your trauma. No, it's gonna be right fucking there. Yeah, I don't tell her that. I think I said it's the home of the scions of the Seventh Dawn because that's impressive as shit, right?
Did she like that?
She said like all the answers were so like. She said, "Oh, so you live there? So that means you'll be around all the time?" Like, I guess that's one way to interpret that or respond to what I said.
If you pick the castrum answer, she tells you that you're a liar.
Oh!
No one would live by a castrum, she says.
Oh, I mean, that's all we do. Right now, like in Vesper Bay, it's a castrum right there.
Next, the boy asks how he can get strong like us. We can answer adventuring, fighting, or training, or buy gear from Rowena. Get him hooked early.
Yeah. Buy all of your gear and weapons from Rowena. There you go. She's not paying us to say this, so I don't. I told them, seek out new experiences and adventures. Things that Republicans don't do.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Anything good from that?
It was like, oh, that makes sense. So to become an adventurer, you should do adventures. Yep.
If you tell them that you can buy gear from Rowena, they just say they don't have any money. I don't understand why they bother making these comedy responses if they're not going to actually play with it. Like, what's the point of the...
It makes you chuckle inwardly, but that's as far as it goes.
The question is mildly humorous, but the answer is boring.
Wah wah.
It's like, yes, that is what a child would say if you said you should buy the stuff or whatever, but...
Yeah. Read the answer, room, Warrior of Light.
The answer, though, that you give, that is obviously the absurd answer, because no one should be in Rowena's debt as a child, so obviously... The respondent is trying to play with the option if they choose that option. So, yes and them, don't fart back at them.
Thank you. Yeah.
That's all. Anyway, at this point in time, Hosen tries to shoo away the children, and they get one more question in. Can they be an adventurer like us? We give them a stoic nod, and the kids resolve to found a junior adventurers guild in Mor Dhona. Yeah,
we asked this question. We don't get an option to be like, I don't think you're ready, or like, no, you wouldn't make a good adventurer. It's just like, yeah, absolutely. I guess it's important to encourage children and not stomp on their dreams. Anyway.
Like your dreams, Jen.
Yeah, well, I stomped on my own dreams.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Now it's sad.
So the first caravan reaches Ul'dahn, and now, we're picking up with Yugiri's contingent. So we meet with Alphino in the quicksand, and he's like, good job. Now go with Yugiri to Revenant's Toll and start making some diplomatic inroads. Hit up Slothborn, hit up this or that. When we get there, like, all right, here we go. So we head to Revenant's Toll. We introduce ourselves in the group. We don't introduce ourselves. Slothborn already knows us. But we make the introductions for Yugiri, and Slothborn's like, welcome. It's going to be great. We're a little scrappy out here, but we're not going to discriminate on race or creed or social status or anything like that. And Yugiri's like, that's cool. Then he's like, have you met Minfilia yet? And we're like, no. And he's like, what? Go meet Minfilia. And Yugiri says, before I meet her, this is very important. I just want to gather my thoughts. So we go ahead and check in with Minfilia.
On the way, The Scions inside the Rising Stones lounge area have new dialogue, but it's pretty boring. They just
Great.
They just wonder about, how much the refugees suffered, and they are commenting on what Dome is like. I heard they have good tea there.
Oh my god. Okay.
Missed opportunities all around.
This is a big deal. We got like a bunch of Domans. This is, yeah.
Must have been hard on those boats.
Yes.
Anyway, in the Solar, Minfilia is trying to reach the students of Baldecian by Link Pearl, but no luck. They've been out of touch since Elidibus appeared on the scene. Afterwards, she turns to us. She remarks that some may think it odd to try to help the refugees while the primal threat is unresolved. But unless she's got some super secret plan, as far as we know, the primals will be a problem for quite some time, so don't hold your breath on other matters while the primals are out there.
Basically, yeah.
It's a weird comment to be like, we got to deal with this problem first.
Yeah, she's like, man, I hope you don't think this is a bad decision helping the refugees, even though we've got, this primal thing that we've dealt with. I'm like, we can walk and chew gum at the same time. So, there we go. So Ugidi comes in and there's a little meet and greet, and the Adventurers Guild from Revenant's Toll, those emissaries are there. And remember when I was like...
Yeah, it's the Spectacle Man, and there's a short, dark hair lady who never talks, ever.
Yeah, it's anyway, they showed up right before when we made the decision to leave the Waking Sands. These two people showed up to facilitate the move. And I was like, we are never going to see these people again. This is stupid. But here they are. I don't think
they
we'll
are
see them
here
again.
for 2 seconds. The guy says that the guy emissary says he'll go and receive the refugees, and the lady bows and walks out.
They're still about, apparently. Okay, this will be the last time we see them.
Obviously.
Now we'll never see them again.
Jen's sticking to that declaration.
Yep. Moving those goalposts.
So now Y'shtola and Thancred arrive with an update on the missing crystals. Thancred says that there has been no unusual Amalja activity, which suggests that the stolen crystals have not arrived in Amalja hands, because if so, they would be summoning some Ifrit extremes.
Yeah, so the Amalja, they're just chilling. Everything's the same.
And Y'shtola believes that the crystals are making their way to the Sahagin in order to summon the primal Leviathan.
Yeah.
Because we found some Serpent Reavers, the Leviathan Thrall guys, ambushing our decoy caravan last time, and she has recently joined the Maelstrom in spying on the Sahagin, and they cited an elder Sahagin speaking of the gift and knowledge of eternity.
Ah, yes. So as soon as she says that, both we and Minfilia have an Echo flashback. This is a very recent flashback, but this is when Y'shtola is she's spying. They're deep in the spawning grounds, spying on the Sahagin, and she's peeping this pre-ritual. This is at the Sahagin Aetheryte, actually. So the elder is speaking to a small gathering there, proclaiming the bit about eternity and how then he will be equal with the quote-unquote emissary and will know no cessation, no oblivion. So Elidibus was here, basically.
Soon it shall begin. Our Lord shall rise midst surging waves to wash away the finless ones. And I shall be granted the gift and knowledge of eternity, and with the emissary stand equal. Then shall I know no cessation, no oblivion.
And we snap out of it, and Minfilia's like, oh, fuck, yeah, the gift and the knowledge of what he's talking about the Echo. This is Elidibus. How the fuck is he able to give somebody the gift of the Echo? Like, that's not how that works, she thought. So now, whatever it is that we're going to be doing, we're going to, this next intervention, primal intervention that we're going to embark on, Minfilia, she's like, I need to go, because I need to see this Echo bullshit that he's doing. I need to see it with my own eyes, because this is all part of like her trying to understand what the fuck this is. Like, this isn't something you give, right? We don't know. I gotta go check it out.
Y'shtola informs us that Admiral Merylvib has requested our help on this to prevent a Leviathan summoning or to strike down the Primal. And Thancred agrees to allow Minfilia to come. Not sure how much say he has there, but regardless, he's not going to fight her if he can escort her in person, keep her safe.
Everybody's very worried about Minfilia.
At this point, Yugiri, who has been watching very patiently during all of this, speaks up, asking what all the hubbub's about. It seems that Yugiri does not know what a primal is, which is interesting, because it suggests that they are not an occurrence, at least not a common occurrence, around Doma.
Yeah.
But she offers to help. She has been feeling very indebted to everyone so far, and this is the chance for her to repay some of that debt, to do something to help the helpers.
Yeah, she's like, I know my way around some wars. You know, I'm gonna offer my blade, and Thancred's like, hell yeah, girl.
So we hop over to Limsa to meet with the Admiral.
So right now we're in like prevention mode. Like, let's get in there and try to stop this thing from happening before it happens.
We meet Merylvib in her office. She starts by saying that she believed that the Sahagin were too short on crystals to summon Leviathan, but they did not expect them to reach so far across the seas to increase their crystal supply.
Yeah, like the different Reavers going all the way to Thanalan to steal crystals for this shit. Like, we did not at all foresee that happening. And boom, it happened. Fuck. And now here we are. So that sucks. But here we go. Merylvib also addresses Minfilia's desire to be on the front lines for this. And she's like, I'm not going to tell you no because you're a grown-ass woman, but you will be with me the whole time, okay?
So now she's double protected.
Yeah. Merylvib doesn't give Minfilia an opportunity to protest at all. She's like, you're going to stick right by my side on this. That's settled. Moving on. Amazing. Right now, what they're doing from Camp Skull Valley is reconnaissance on the whole Sahagin settlement area, whatever.
Spawning grounds.
Spawning grounds.
We are dispatched to rendezvous with the Maelstrom Scouts in Western La Noscea to get an update on the situation. If we are in the Maelstrom, we are addressed by Merylvib by rank.
Nice. That's cool.
We pop on over to Western La Noscea. There is a fortress built up just outside the spawning grounds, and we meet up with the local commander, Falk Brita.
Yeah. She's like, welcome. Thanks for helping out. Unfortunately, our scouting party hasn't returned yet. They definitely should have returned by now. I'm going to give you some restoratives, if you can find them in the field, to either do some field medic shit or bring back their bodies, worst case scenario. There's 5 of them.
We head into the spawning grounds. This area looks like a giant tide pool. There are oversized anemones, corals, and seaweed-like plants all over the area.
We head into the spawning grounds and we start looking around. We find the first guy. He is wounded. We give him a restorative and he's like, thank fucking God you saved my life. The others were captured. I don't know what happened to them. Good luck. They were likely taken to the Serpent's Tongue, which is all the way in the fucking back. It's like a little cove with a building, and you've probably been there a billion times for random fates and hunting log shits.
At the fortress, deep in the spawning grounds, we find 2 bodies of scouts, and when we approach, we are ambushed by some serpent reavers. We kill them, then we collect the bodies, and we head back. Back at the fort, Falk Brita starts to wind herself up, ready to exact vengeance on the Sahagin. Of the 5 scouts, 2 of them are missing, 2 are dead, 1 survivor, so she's very pissed off at this.
Yeah.
But at this point, Merylvib arrives and tells Falk Brita to chill. We need to focus on the Leviathan issue, not on...
I don't need you ranting and raving, right?
Yeah.
Just buckle up. Buckle up. So the Sahagin are now congregating at the Aetheryte.
There's an Aetheryte, a raw Aetheryte, a jagged purple crystal, at the very far end of the spawning grounds, way up against the ocean.
Yeah, which is where the ritual is going to be. So, like, things are happening, and because things are happening, they have increased Sahagin patrols and security and all that shit. So now we have to engage in a bunch of, like weird assault and diversionary shit so that they can clear a path for us to infiltrate deep in there and stop the stuff from happening. All right, so we got again, like, the multi-prong, whatever. Morlvib has sent ships just off the shore to basically provide some
diversionary fire.
Yeah, okay, yeah, to help us out.
Meanwhile, the Maelstrom ground forces will engage the bulk of the Sahagan's thralls. In the spawning grounds, the Scions will sow chaos in small groups, and Minfilia and Merylvib will head for the Sahagan Aetherite to try and kill their priest, the one who is leading the summoning.
Yeah.
We head into the spawning grounds again. This operation takes place almost entirely off screen. We don't see any of the stuff except for our character doing stuff on foot. So we go through solo and we fight through a series of gates to force our way deeper into the spawning grounds. We reach these rickety looking wooden gates, and as we approach them, enemies spawn in, we kill the enemies, we press forward to the next gate, and so on. We must clear 3 gates to proceed. Eventually, we meet up with Y'shtola, and we find ourselves backed up against the sea by a group of Sahagan and thralls. A Sahagan leaps out of the water with a spear intent on impaling Y'shtola when a dagger flies out of nowhere into its chest.
Shing!
It's Thancred and Yugiri.
Woo!
They proceed to show their stuff, with Yugiri unleashing some sick ninja moves.
Hell yeah. And so Thancred and Yugiri are just going crazy, and it's awesome and badass, and they're all like, damn, girl, you got some moves. And she's all like, damn, guy, you got some moves.
This is some nonstop Marvel one-liners. That just happened. Did I do that?
Oh, no. I just shot a dagger out of my hand.
Thancred is being he's got a growing rivalry with Yugiri because he sees her being so sweet, and he's like, I want to be sweet too, so I better step it up. And Yugiri sees Thancred doing his sweet shit, and she's like, ooh. So there might be some interest boiling there.
Maybe. But yeah, no, she just she comes out of nowhere, literally. She's like, can I join your battle? And we're like, sure. And then she pulls out these sick ass moves. Thancred's very impressed. He's like, remind me not to start a fight with a Doman.
We press forward to the Aetherite. The Sahagan mass against us, but someone else now attacks from off screen.
Yeah, we're surrounded again and yet again. So now we got bullets just raining down from the sky, and Merylvib has shown up, obviously, and she's like, pow, 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 pow. And she's up on a cliff nearby, shooting down at us, and then suddenly a Sahagan jumps out of the water, up above Merylvib. There's 2 of them, and she this is slow-mo, they rising up out of the water, and they're gonna descend upon her with the spears and shit, and she just kind of looks at him with the most bored expression on her face and does a blap blap. Done. A 3rd one jumps up, and then Yugiri and Thancred show up, and then they take care of it. Everybody's just being a badass right now.
Despite all these sick moves, the priest is able to start the ritual. So we have this Sahagan priest who's wearing a crazy crab shell-like headpiece.
Yeah, it's a hand claw.
Hand claw.
It's not a foot claw, it's a hand claw. I don't think I noticed the first time I played this what exactly it was. I'm like, this is an incredible headpiece that he's got going on. But no, it's just it's a huge crab claw.
It covers his entire face.
And
head.
Yeah, and it's sitting kind of asymmetrically on him. It reminds me of when Eliza first goes to the races at Ascot, and everybody's wearing these fabulous hats. It just looks like a fabulous hat.
My Fair Lady, Jen?
Yeah.
Look at that. I got one.
It's kind of sitting a little forward on his head, and it's kind of asymmetrical. I'm like, this looks like a fabulous hat.
Well, we are off to the races here.
Oh my God.
As the priest declares that we shall all perish with salt in our wounds and sea in our lungs, he calls out to the Lord of the Whirl, Leviathan, to deliver the Sahagan from their misery. And the priest becomes awash in dark energy. Merylvib shoots the priest, and they topple. Their body now dissolves into light, and a pulsing aqueous orb floats where the priest once was.
Thought it was funny. Priest says this shit. The energy overwhelms him. It also overwhelms the other the Sahagan that are doing the ritual with him. And Merylvib is like, do you feel that? And Minfilia says, I do. That's the echo. So whatever's happening to the Sahagin here in this ritual is echo type shit, and Minfilia can tell.
Maybe.
Yeah, so it's a reasonable facsimile.
It's not
thereof.
confirmed. Minfilia does do an echo reaction to this whole thing. Something's going on here. The game ultimately kind of ends up backpedaling on this stuff in a sense, in terms of the way the echo develops. But
yeah.
There was some rework of the narrative direction during the post Realm Reborn series.
That'll happen. Yeah.
Yep.
But I thought it was just hilarious. This thing barely happens, and Merlvib's like, I'm done. I can't, and just shoots him.
So anyway, this aqueous orb that has replaced the priest's body, it floats over to the body to another living Sahagin and enters their body, and they transform into the priest, headpiece and all.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, nice try, motherfuckers. Did I not tell you that I'm immortal?
So this, to me, Jen, no one says what's going on here, but this looks more like the Ascian's possession ability than it looks like the Echo.
Totally.
Maybe at one point the writers were going to make them one and the same, but again, they kind of took things in a different direction than the track being laid here. So the priest now can apparently body jump, so cannot be killed, and the priest and their new body starts to exalt again, and they're being immortal. They call to Leviathan, O mighty Leviathan, ruler of the seas, born of waters primordial, I offer unto you this frail flesh, you might grant your faithful servants deliverance. Now Merlviv opens fire
blah, 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 blah,
and
blah, blah.
kills every Sahagin on this little jutting outcrop of rock.
Yeah, try possessing someone else now, bitch.
And once again, the priest's life orb arises out of the newly dead body. At the same time, something stirs in the deeps. We see dark water with a long serpentine body writhing through it. Leviathan bursts out from below. We see his reptilian head emerge from the seas along with wing-like fins along his body.
He's big.
The floating priest orb begins to panic. Something is wrong with their new powers.
I can feel my essence slipping away. What the fuck is this about? I was told I would be immortal.
And as
he's mad. He's like,
perish,
Elidibus, you motherfucker.
Yeah, they say emissary, you motherfucker, but yes.
Right, yeah.
My being ebbs away. It could by right be infinite. Am I not immortal? Curse you, emissary! You promised me everlasting.
So the orb winks out.
Boom.
Also during the scene, Y'shtola has popped on her etherometer, her binoculars that read ether. So she's got something, she has some readings on what's going on here. We don't know what yet, but she has popped on the headgear to check it out.
Glad we brought her.
Leviathan also retreats back into the water.
Yeah, great. Now what the fuck?
Not long afterwards, Merlvib's link pearl pings. The diversionary fleet has been wiped out entirely, and Leviathan is heading for open sea. Merlvib concludes that he intends to strike Limsa with a tidal wave.
Yeah, that'll destroy it. That'll just straight up. She's like, this isn't just like a big wave, you guys. This will destroy the settlement. Just full stop. I don't know what to do about how do we deal with this?
Nobody is sure how to deal with this new threat right now, with Leviathan commanding the seas and the Maelstrom ships not standing a chance against the Primal. So we'll pick up here next time to figure out what to do next.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts, Jen?
I mean, no, it's typical primal ramp up stuff, except for Minfilia showing up and this weird echo imitation stuff that's going on.
I have forgotten this entire storyline about this echo emissary, whatever.
Yeah,
because it doesn't end up meshing.
Nothing happens with it. So I think Minfilia thought that this would be a major revelation into what it is that she has, how she got it.
I think they're going to develop it further, but ultimately drop it at some point. I think most of this Realm Reborn patch series is a blur to me. I recall some points, but not most of them. I feel like they're going to develop this for a bit before it kind of dissipates. That's my expectation. I don't recall at this time.
Same. But, you know, something weird is going on, and Minfilia was able to peep it. I think it's already, like, debunked. Like, this is not what she thought. And it's not what the Sahagin thought. Like, who knows? Like, Ascians are just out here spitting lies.
It seems like the emissary Litobis has taught this Sahagin how to do body transfers, body possession, like an Ascian can.
And he's like, hey, congrats, you just learned how to be immortal. And he's like, yeah.
And I'm not clear on if the orb dissipated because there were no other hosts nearby because Merylbib shot all the Sahagin, or if, or something else is going on.
Now that, like, Leviathan showed up, well, you're donezo.
But also,
there's like a timer.
A very weird detail because nothing comes of the priest's immortality, too. The priest is immortal for 5 seconds.
Right.
And then dies. I don't understand how this is more important from an Ascian perspective than any other primal summoning. Just fucking give them their Christies and they'll summon Leviathan. It's not like they're gonna...
Yeah, like, beam into the crystal hordes, grab some, beam out, go to the Sahagin, dump them at their feet, and, like, done.
I don't think they can transport materials with them, Jen. But point being is that they never needed to promise this priest everlasting life or whatever to get them to summon Leviathan. The Sahagin will summon Leviathan if they got crystals. That's a foregone conclusion. So the added spice of
you know what? I think it was just insurance. So that the priest could stay alive just long enough to summon Leviathan. And when the Leviathan showed up, that's it.
It's true. Because it did buy the priest one more bite at the old apple to summon Leviathan.
Exactly. Yeah.
That said, though, Jen, if the priest was not busy doing this immortal life ritual, they could have summoned Leviathan the first time before getting shot.
Well,
so
I think this is all part of the summoning. Like, this was the ritual. He just happened to be shot in the middle of it, you know? So, like, if he was never shot, we never would have seen him transfer bodies at all. The summoning just would have gone off, and then he's not immortal. And then somebody shot him, and he'd be dead.
Possibly. It could have been, like you said, Jen, giving the priest some more durability to make sure this thing gets done.
That's my theory, yeah.
That works.
All right.
Otherwise, I don't know why anyone would care to give this priest possession powers.
Yeah. No, that was just lies to, keep him, motivated to summon the shit. Like, do this, you're going to be immortal, Leviathan will handle all your business, Sahagin will reign supreme over the land, right? Like, let's do this. And priest is like, this sounds like a really good deal.
Well, I am interested to rediscover the next 3 patches worth of story and what they do in all this time.
Yep. Totally forgot. Except for, that one thing.
Yes, I do know, actually.
That one thing that happens. Oh. And then there's going to be a lot. It's a lot.
Okay. Anyway, any other comments, Jen?
No.
Okay. Next time, we'll be wrapping up the patch 2.2 story. See you then.
And that will do it for today's episode. Thank y'all so much for listening. And if you want to get in touch with us, you can at podreturnffxiv at gmail.com, or check the show notes for our Discord and get all up in there and talk about glams, share screenshots, invite people to go on runs, join us for group runs, good stuff. We also have the Patreon, patreon.com/podreturnffxiv. For $1 a month, you get access to some bonus episodes that we release about monthly, thereabouts. We talk about seasonal items, and we also just released the Vanadil Vansplainer series, where Levi is playing Final Fantasy XI and talking to me about it. I don't know shit about shit, and we're just gonna... This is all in preparation for Dawn Trail, so we can get some of that sweet Final Fantasy XI reference goodness. So yeah, that's a thing. Anyway, we hope you enjoyed the episode and have a good day or a night, and we will see you next time.